It's kind of weird to do a video like this, but lately I've been feeling stuck. What I mean by stuck, I've been feeling like my photography haven't progressed much. I've been feeling like I'm repeating myself a lot. I'm doing the same things. I feel like I haven't gone much farther on my photography, or at least what I wanted to, like where I wanted to be, I'm not there yet. do you know and I believe that's a feeling that most of us photographers, we're gonna feel that. I hope that's not just a me feeling. When I talk to other people, other friends, I feel like a lot of people go through the same thing, but that's where I am at the moment. I feel like I'm very busy, with work and life. It's just like so many things happening, even like recording this to YouTube. I feel like I've been very busy, so I haven't had much time to maybe think about my photography, or maybe go out and like work as I used to work. I used to go out almost every day, and I feel like lately, I don't know if it's the city or me. I used to say that like it's not the city, because even though you're in the city for years, you have to be able to work on your own city. And I feel like I'm getting slightly bored of the city, or slightly bored of taking photos of the same things. And even if you see the last videos that I've done, my last video was in Venice, and the last videos before that, they were all kind of like events that I shot, or a trip with my friends. So yeah, I that's how I've been feeling lately, a little bit stuck with my work. I also feel like with the price of film, I haven't been able to be out as much as I want. I tried to go with my digital camera out. I didn't like the results. Maybe it's because I'm in this rut that I feel like the results are all kind of like boring, or I'm not able to capture what I used to capture. I don't know. I feel like my older work, sometimes there are a lot of like really bad photographs, but I also felt like because it was so raw, because I didn't have all like those things in my head, because I didn't have all this pressure on creating a very good photograph, I feel like my older work has a little bit of like a rawness of not knowing what you're doing, that made the work better. Not that like I feel like now I know what I'm doing. I'm not shooting for that long. It's just like I feel like because I didn't know much about photography, I was just out taking photographs, and that create a visual that was very nice to look at it. Because it's literally a person that don't know what they're doing, and sometimes they would get something really emotional or really strong. So when I look back to my work, sometimes I feel like I capture some things that were like really strong or really nice to me. Sometimes I go back and check those photographs to see what am I missing. I used to think that you have to get really close to your subject to be able to make a very good photograph. This is true. You do have to get really close, but what I've been trying to do, I've been trying to take a step back actually, because I feel like at the start I was trying to get close, maybe to prove something to myself, maybe to be like, oh, I can't do this, because it's hard to take pictures of people on the street. You got to be brave. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's just when you're starting, I think that's the most thrilling thing. That's what you want to do. And I think after a while, this narrative, or like all this construction of, okay, you need to get close to make a good photograph, this kind of like, it's true, but like not every photograph you need to be literally like a meter away in somebody's face. So I've been trying to take a step back, and I've been thinking a lot about black and white. I feel like when you're shooting black and white, you have to work a lot with your composition, and you have to work a lot with emotions. It's different than color. Sometimes color, you can distract your viewer a little bit, but when you're doing black and white, it's really hard to distract your viewer, because the thing is so simple. You're just like shooting tons of grays. And I think a good black and white photo is either like an amazing composition, or you show a lot of emotion. So I've been trying to change my composition, or change the way that I shoot, but I haven't found like where, like what I want to capture yet. It just feel like it's been really hard to produce stuff that I really like. And maybe it's also because I'm trying to do something new to me. And I think like when you challenge yourself, when you try to learn something different, this is what happens. It's hard to find that thing, and you have to try and try and try. I think photography is like a try and error thing. So you always trying to achieve this thing, but sometimes you don't know how to do it, and it takes a while until you find it. Do you know what I mean? I still think I'm an apprentice when it comes to photography. I've been doing this for only 2 years, and I feel like I'm gonna need a lot more years to come until I can have a proper body of work, until I can understand what type of photography I have to do. And I literally treat this as I need to do different styles, different things until I can find something that actually like tell the viewer what I want to say it. What I want to take a photograph that will show you what I was feeling, what I wanted to do in that day, show a feeling of the place, kind of something like that immerse you. I don't know if that's bullshit, but like that's what I'm trying to do. I know I feel like my work's not based solely in composition because I see photography more a way of making a diary. I don't know how you see it, a lot of, like street photography, there are a lot of different people doing a lot of different styles. And I know there are some people that are really hardcore in their composition, that's the most important. But I try to look at my photography as a diary. The same thing as those videos. I try to make those videos as a diary, sometimes for myself, but also I want to create a community. I want to like people engaging with me. I want to talk to other photographers. I want to learn together. That's why I'm doing this. And it's been helping me a lot because I've been meeting a lot of different people. Like on my last video, I literally like as soon as I uploaded, I got a message from a photographer in Venice, and he was like, "Oh man, I didn't know you were here. You'd be nice to show you around. So if you ever come back." So I think like by doing this, I'm creating a small community, of people that like the same thing. This video is more about like a discussion about process, about my process. I love to know how is your process, what is hard for you, what do you think of black and white photography, and how do you compose. If you ever been in a rut, like if you ever been stuck on your creation, because that's how I've been feeling a lot. I also feel like I've been focusing a lot of my mind as well in making videos or like learning how to make videos. I'm starting to work with this. I'm doing like some different type of jobs. I've been loving doing this, because I feel like when you make a video, you can tell a different story. You can tell like putting audio to things. And even if you watch my videos, if you watch my previous videos, you can see that I like a pretty aesthetic type of video. I don't like a lot of movement. It's almost like little photographs with movement and audio, but not too much. And this week I got this small guy here. I saw a guy posting a reels about this little camera. I paid 35 bucks for it. I just got it on eBay. The camera seems to be fine. The battery is working. I actually messaged the guy that sold me on eBay and I asked him, is this battery working? Is everything okay? And he tested. He told me, look, I made footage with the camera. He recorded for 20 minutes, so the battery's fine. I just had to find like something to charge because it's a different like USB. It's a very old USB, and I realized after the Casio used to make their own USB charger for this camera. I've been playing a lot with videos, playing a lot with aesthetics, trying to create something different, and this is like a nice little trail to do this. And on that note, I got contacted by Dehancer again because they contacted me before and I did a video about how to use their software to on your photographs. We're talking about like video this time, and I think they have a very nice software that you can work with your videos just to make them look like film. So that's what I'm using for color grading now. They have a lot of options of color grading. You have a lot of options of film resolutions or stuff that you can make with your video. And I really appreciate being able to use that software. They didn't pay me anything. They gave me a subscription that I can use forever. So it was really nice of them. And that's what I'm going to be using on my next videos, also along with this small guy, maybe for some nice footage. So what does this little camera has to do with the feeling of being stuck? I got this camera not for my photography, but for my videography, just like to try something new. I feel like back in the days when something was like starting to get boring or something, it was going wrong with my photography, I always try to make something different or create something new. Like I try flash, or I try to go to a different event, or I try to get closer, or I try to not get close at all, or not get people on my photograph, or a different medium. So I feel like that's when this small camera come in, just to try something different, to maybe like move my brain to think different. Also, like by using the software Dehancer, it's not like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here or make something like it's just like everything that helps with my creativity, I think is important, you know, and that's what I have to do, I believe. I need to go out more. I need to try different things again. I need to think different. That's what I think I need to do. I don't know if you guys ever got stuck or had this feeling before, but like if you had this feeling before, if you try different mediums, whatever you've done, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know if you guys did it to change this or that something to help you. But yeah, that's me for today. Today wasn't a vlog, you know. Again, my time has been crazy. I just wanted to keep doing my videos, keep talking to you and knowing you better. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. And I hope you guys like this video. Take photos every day.